And welcome to our February 27th virtual CONNECTpreneur event. We're glad that everyone made it here. I'm Skylar Allison. I'm the community manager for CONNECTpreneur, and let's get started. So CONNECTpreneur is a global community of over 30,000 investors, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and professional service providers from all around the world. 2025 marks our 14th year, and during this time, we have hosted over 100 in-person and virtual CONNECTpreneur forums with over 1,500 presentations from 900 plus presenting company alumni. And about 60% of our presenters have received funding from investors that they have met on our platform. We have built an investor community of over 4,000 accredited private investors, angels, and family offices who have attended our events and who are interested in investing in awesome deals that they meet through our platform. And our community database now exceeds over 320,000 technology business leaders and investors from around North America. Hopefully, you've already downloaded the program book for today's event, which has our sponsors and executive summaries of our awesome presenting companies today, and also has a list of RSVPs. If you haven't been able to download it yet, no worries. Our team will post the link to the program book in the chat box now. A couple of things about today's event. We have 9 awesome presenting companies, and after our final presenter, we're going to go in breakout rooms for 30 to 40 minutes, and each one is hosted by one of our presenting companies. You'll be able to leave and join whichever breakout room you would like during this time. I do want to remind everyone that these breakout rooms are hosted by our presenting companies. Therefore, they are for our presenting companies to use opportunity for you to learn more about them and to set up follow-up meetings with them. Please note that this is not a time to sell services to presenting companies or to do anything else besides learn more and ask questions to our presenting companies. On another note, please be respectful and tactful when using the group chat. Feel free to post your LinkedIn, your contact info, and a brief introduction a couple of times. Just please make sure to not overload the chat. We would really appreciate that. We recommend that you download the chat transcript before you go into breakout rooms. That way you can go through and read all the chat after the meeting. We will be polling our investors after every presenter today. These polls are for direct investors only, and they are confidential, so we will not be sharing any of the poll results with the audience. I do want to highlight that they are for direct investors only. If you are selling services, we kindly ask you to please not answer these polls as we do go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and only people who are direct investors will be sent on to our presenting companies. So please direct investors only on the investor polling. Our marketing coordinator, Emily Panush, is going to post some links in the chat. These are for our YouTube channel with hundreds of videos of past presenters. We have an upcoming in-person event in March 19th in DC, which I will be at, and Avery and Emily and Tiana, our whole team will be at that event, which is very exciting because, as most of you know, we're spread out across the United States. So we're going to all be in the same place at the same time. And she'll also post links for our virtual event in March and again for today's program book. So lastly, if you're interested in sponsoring or presenting, please send me an email and let me know. And I will have Emily post my email in the chat now for anyone who's interested. Okay, so now we will put up our first poll, which is for our awesome sponsors. So this poll is for anyone to answer. Please respond if you have any interest in any of their services, and we'll make sure to get you connected right away. Our sponsors can be found in our program book, and while you fill out this poll, I would like to name all of them. Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, Modus Create, AEG, Prince William County Economic Development, Shulman Rogers, Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, Maryland Tech Council Venture Mentoring Services, Refraction, Startup Grind, Entrepreneurs Organization, Frederick Innovative Technology Center, Keiretsu Forum, Dingman Center Angels, Citrine Angels, MIT Alumni Angels, New Jersey Angels, Georgetown Entrepreneurship Initiative, Wharton DC Innovation Summit, Founder Institute, Ryan and Wetmore, Enterprise Transformation Solutions, Monty Jade Science and Technology Association. So with that, I will leave that poll open for a couple minutes. I do want to let you know that we'll be putting up this poll again at the end of the meeting, just in case you missed it. But with that, I would love to get started. To introduce our first five presenters, I'd like to introduce longtime ConnectPreneur partner, Sarah Clasper, who is an associate with Next, powered by Schulman Rogers, which is disrupting the way startup law is being performed with packaged offerings on a fixed price basis. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Skylar. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Tien, Skylar, Avery, Emily, and the ConnectPreneur team for today's great event. We are honored to be a longtime sponsor of ConnectPreneur, which is a leading global event that connects entrepreneurs, investors, and all other members of the startup ecosystem. Just a quick plug about Next. Next, powered by Schulman Rogers, is an innovative model for delivering legal services through each stage of a company's growth, and we have designed it from an entrepreneur's perspective. This means we have predictable and reasonable legal fees because we productize them into fixed price packages. Our clients work directly with seasoned attorneys through our hands-on legal services model, and we integrate a robust technology platform that makes the experience client-centric, collaborative, efficient, and transparent. I'm going to begin to introduce our first company this morning, Actuated Medical, Inc. Actuated Medical is creating innovative medical devices for better health by engineering devices that will solve major unmet clinical needs. Please welcome Maureen Mulvihill, President, CEO, and co-founder.
Hi, my name is Maureen Mulvihill, and I'm President and CEO of Actuated Medical. And for nearly 2 decades, we built a multi-asset, multifaceted business and a team of 16 that loves coming to work and making a difference in patient care. I'm a recognized leader in the medtech industry as I hold board of director seats on AvaMed, AvaMed Excel, and Life Sciences Pennsylvania. Today, we're going to talk about our Series A for growth capital, where we're going to transition our R&D engine to a commercial stage and monetize some assets. We brought in over $48 million in non-dilutive capital that's allowed us to reduce the technical and regulatory risk on several product lines. GripTract is FDA cleared and patented, and it's a single-use device that slides onto the endoscope and gives the doctors ability to manipulate tissue. It's like a third hand at the end of the endoscope. The Tube Clear system is a device that mechanically goes in, breaks up clogs in feeding tubes, and restores the life-sustaining medication, nutrition, and hydration. It's like an FDA-cleared rotor-rooter for feeding tubes. Our actuated neuroscience technologies are already being sold in the preclinical market, and we're solving major limitations for clinical adoption. These researchers are getting better insertion and better working lifetimes. Our goal is to transition these preclinical tools to clinical tools in the next five years. GripTract, as I said, slides onto the endoscope. It helps doctor manipulate tissue to remove those large, complex, cancerous polyps. We're 2.6 times faster than the competition, far better than surgical resection, and the TAM is projected to be $1.5 billion. Feeding tubes clog at about a 25% clog rate. So we're talking about 1.8 million feeding tube clogs. Our device mechanically goes in there and breaks up those clogs. We're faster, more effective than our competition. And the TAM is projected at $2.3 billion. Our moonshot is transitioning those preclinical tools to clinical tools. We want to help those 16 million Americans that are candidates for brain-computer interfaces. We want to increase the working lifetime of their electrodes and also improve insertion. Our TAM is projected at 80 billion. Our groundwork has really built traction with KOLs and business momentum. Dr. Gorgon is an expert in worldwide for advanced endoscopy techniques, and he is the PI on our clinical study at Cleveland Clinic. We're already engaged with companies like Boston Sci, Olympus, and STERIS. TubeClear's had over 4,000 uses and no adverse events reported on the MAUDE database, and our interaction with business development leaders has influenced our commercialization plans. For actuated neuroscience technologies, we've sold NeuroGlider into 30 different labs in the US, Europe, and Asia. 20 publications out there already saying that it helps them get better data. We're already interacting with brain-computer interface companies and brain-computer researchers. This is a huge investment area now with companies like Neuralinks and BlackRock Neurotech. The use of funds supports 3-year commercialization plans that have budgets and schedules, and with my leadership, we will be successful. The goal is to sell off GripTract and TubeClear, reinvest some of those funds into our neuroscience portfolio, and then exit Actuated Medical on our expertise in neural devices. My team has a proven record of designing, building, and bringing medtech to market. Our advisors have expertise in hospital administration and monetizing assets. We are projecting a lumpy P&L where we have product sales and we sell off devices periodically or sell off our assets. And then, of course, Actuated gets acquired. We're projecting an 11x ROI for our investors. We have a preferred Series A to move those 2 FDA cleared devices to the market and also transition our preclinical devices. We have an incredible team and a huge market opportunity. We have an executed term sheet. We have an executed term sheet with Keiretsu at a 40 million pre, $25,000 minimum investment, and 30% warrants. This is my incredible team. I thank you very much for your time today, and I'd love to talk to you in the breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. There should be an investor poll up for Actuated Medical if you have a minute. Next this morning comes eBliss Global Inc. eBliss is creating the next generation of electric bikes that are designed and manufactured in the United States, and they are affordable, safe, innovative, reliable, and easy to own and operate. Please welcome Bill Clem, CEO.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to eBliss. The ride starts here. And consumer demand, we're in the middle of a perfect storm where consumer demand for e-mobility products is exploding. Manufacturing footprint has largely been in China, but that's not the future. The future is made in America, and we're the company to go lead that effort. From a product standpoint, we've already demonstrated product leadership in the marketplace. We have established sales channels and independent bike dealers, online auto dealers, and our group of 22 sales reps sold 100,000 e-bikes last year. The e-bike market, as I mentioned, is exploding. It reminds me of 1973 in the automotive industry where Japan invaded the US with small cars. From 60,000 e-bikes sold in 2016 to a projected 5.6 million in 2030, this is an automotive or a major transportation market, and we're taking advantage of that. The next question consumers are beginning to ask, because now we are in a mass market consumer product where over 2.5 million e-bikes were sold in America last year, but the majority of customers are asking a question: where's my bike made? They aren't liking the answer. The only place they're made is China. So for us, our plan is a very pragmatic staged plan that over the next, let's call it 18 months, we will be in the market on the United States' 250th birthday with Made in America products. So they will be fully made in America. They will be sold in America. They're designed in America. So this is an American-made product. Not only is it going to be made in America, but we have been able to take over $1,000 out of the cost of our e-bikes versus our current product that we source out of Asia. So not only you're going to get made in America, but you get made in America less expensively. 4 channels of distribution for 4 different branding strategies. So we have the Ride for independent bike dealers. We have Always for auto dealers. We have an online store for both brands. And then we have been approached by several large retailers to be a private label supporter. I mentioned our 22 market reps that we already have. These are veterans. They sold 100,000 e-bikes last year in America. We're asking them to sell 15,000 e-bikes for us this year, which will generate almost $23 million in revenue and a very nice EBITDA. I'd like to point out our $3.9 million of tariff impact. We highlight that in our financials. So every day, every month, every week, we are pushing to reduce that online tariff. Our team is amazing. So 5 exits, an IPO, over 1,000 patents, raised over $3 billion in the consumer products, transportation, e-bike and bike industry. So a broad range of people ready to go deliver. We're raising $10 million. This is our Series A. We have raised $2 million to create all of this. We have a complete plan that we're excited to be able to share in the breakout sessions later on today or into any time in the future. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bill. There should be investor poll 2 up for eBliss Global. Next this morning, we have Isiana Health. Iceana Health is preventing side effects from cancer treatments by meeting large unmet needs, such as the ability to cool hands and feet on a day of chemotherapy. Please welcome Dr. Carol Spangler-Von, CEO.
Iceana Health is preventing permanent and painful nerve damage from chemotherapy. In 2017, I was diagnosed with stage 2B breast cancer, which means that it had already gone into my lymph nodes. I was treated with standard of care, and the 3 drugs listed are the ones I was given at MD Anderson. One was approved from the FDA in 1959, one in 74, and one in 98. I will add that I'm not that young, and one of those was approved before I was born. So these old drugs are really good at getting the cancer, but they're also really good at leaving you with side effects. And one of my big learns was that several chemo drugs that treat several cancers, such as breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, colorectal cancer, bladder cancer, they all cause permanent and painful nerve damage in your hands and feet. And how that happens is that drug goes into your blood, makes its way out to your fingers and toes, and permanently destroys those sensitive nerve endings. The symptoms start at numbness and tingling. You can't hold a coffee cup. You can't feel the ground under your feet, so you fall. They range all the way up to excruciating pain. And since this is not curable, again, it's not curable, patients suffer for the rest of their lives. I can tell you as a patient, I did not want this nerve damage, and I did some research and I found out that something as simple as cooling can prevent the nerve damage. One researcher reported a 55% reduction in nerve damage with cooling. The idea is pretty straightforward. If you cool your hands and feet, those blood vessels will constrict, which makes it very difficult for that drug to get out to the fingers and toes to do the destruction. So as a medical innovator, I was positive there would be an easy way for me to do this, and I was incorrect. On the right side of the slide, you see the medical devices I got to choose from. These are all meant for ice cold, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, but that is not what a cancer patient needs. A cancer patient doesn't need ice cold, but they need to cool, so listen to this, for as long as that cancer drug is in their system. That's hours. So because there was no solution for cancer patients, we founded Iceana to address this unmet medical need. Cancer patients need to go home at the end of their infusion. They also have to have functional use of their hands and feet during the 6 to 8 hour period. So that's exactly what we've designed. We have sleek gloves that allow you to use your phone, even type on a keyboard. We have boots that allow patients to safely walk. And then we have a small chiller, and then the tubing that goes between them all is beautifully coordinated into a throw blanket, which is already in the patient experience. About 2 million diagnoses for cancer are occurring in the US right now. A little over half of those patients get chemotherapy. The orange slice is our target market. About 2/3 of patients getting chemotherapy, again, for all different cancers, will get a drug that will destroy their nerves. That's around 680,000 patients every year that need the solution, and that's just in the US. We are way ahead of our competition. Our next closest competitor is Paxman. They're currently in the clinic with a scalp cooling device. The picture says it all. This poor man is trapped in the chair. He can't do anything, and he obviously can't go home. We are planning a soft launch later this year. We have a distribution partner in WishCaps, and we're using Priority Designs as our manufacturer. I will add that a few weeks ago, I was chosen as one of 8 2025 American Cancer Society Bright Edge Entrepreneurs, which is a really nice honor. This is a team that can absolutely get us to the next step. Collectively, we've raised over $600 million. We've had 2 exits and 2 IPOs. Our business model is direct to consumer, lots of reasons for that. We're going to lease the chiller and sell the wearables. Again, we'll be in revenue this year, break even in 2028 with an exit in 2029. We are raising 1.5 million. We've already received 610,000, so we are looking to raise 890,000. I will add that we've previously raised a $900,000 pre-seed, and we've received 400,000 in non-dilutive funding. That is Iceana Health. We're preventing nerve damage from chemotherapy. I'd love to see you in the breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vaughn. There should be another poll up right now for Iceana Health. Next today, we have Hedonia USA. Hedonia is a revolutionary all-natural all-natural medical food that is specifically formulated to address the unique nutritional needs of people suffering from depression. Please welcome Gary Schwartz, Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, Sarah. As she said, my name is Gary Schwartz. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Hedonia USA. We have developed the only patented non-prescription 3-in-1 medical food antidepressant to help people suffering from depression. Hedonia consists of 3 natural ingredients: L-methylfolate, acetylmethionine, and EPA, a highly purified form of fish oil. These substances combine to help increase dopamine receptor site binding, increase serotonin, and treat chronic neuroinflammation. We compete in the nutraceutical dietary supplement space, which last year was comprised of between 80 and 236 million people in the United States alone. Hedonia's market share would be between 30 and 120 million people. This would translate to revenue of 5.7 billion to 13.1 billion in the United States alone. There are no direct competitors in our space for the treatment of depression, although a company launched more than 10 years ago called Deplin has only one of these ingredients, L-methylfolate. Hedonia is different. As I said, we combine these 3 ingredients into a very precise dosage, convenient delivery method, delayed response capsule within capsule, which you can see pictured here, along with a photograph of Dr. Alex Vukovic, the founder of the company. It's produced like this because it ensures up to 97% absorption in the brain, as opposed to 40% for all others. Presently, we have one medical food product that was launched in December 2024 and is being sold direct to consumers via our website. We are generating approximately $100,000 in revenue per month, very limited marketing. We have plans for selling to e-tailers and big box retailers next year. We have just launched the first of 7 dietary supplements that we expect to go into a soft marketing push. We project approximately 5.4 million in revenue this year, growing to over 45 million in year 5. We start out with a 51% gross profit margin, which will grow to 79% in year 5. We have a superior management team that is led and developed by a world-class team of researchers, entrepreneurs, and collectively we have done pioneering work in neuropsychology, built multiple billion-dollar businesses, and have created iconic products and ad campaigns. We are looking for a $1 to $10 million investment that can be in equity, SAFE, or a joint venture, or other form to help scale and chart our growth forward. The planned use of the funds are mostly for marketing and media, manufacturing and raw material, with a small amount to talent acquisition. Lastly, if you were to ask about an exit strategy, we were approached by the world's largest over-the-counter healthcare consumer products company even before our product was launched. So that is definitely something that would be considered when that time comes. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to answering your questions in the breakout session.
Thank you, Gary. The next investor poll should appear for Hedonia USA. The next company this morning is Pollen Systems Corporation. Pollen Systems delivers advanced agricultural and analytics that helps farmers optimize water, pesticide, fertilizer, and biostimulant utilization. It incorporates data from satellites, drones, and mobile devices. Please welcome Keith McCall, CEO.
Thank you, Sarah. To us, pollen represents data, visible and invisible, that pervades farms around the world. Pollen Systems harvests that data, turning it into actionable insights that helps farmers grow better crops. Today, farmers aren't using artificial intelligence or technologies to leverage the knowledge that they could collect from their farm to grow better crops. At the same point in time, input costs are rising. Fertilizer and pesticides have tripled in cost over the past 5 years, and water is scarce, especially in places like California. Climate change in general is not helping because farmers are actually not understanding how climate is actually affecting their crops. Enter Precision View, our software as a service image and data capture analytics platform. We collect data using drones, satellites, IoT, and mobile devices. We analyze that data and we provide actionable insights to farmers to help them grow better crops. We start with a farm providing us a farm boundary or map. We take that map and we tie in any IoT device they might have in the field, a moisture sensor or a weather station. We then schedule drone flights or satellite captures depending on the size of their farm and what they're looking to accomplish. The data is then collected and uploaded into our Microsoft Azure-based platform where we perform artificial intelligence processing and we leverage our agronomy team to determine what actionable insights could be taken within the field. It's a big market. There's about 2.1 million farms in the United States and a further 570 million farms globally. Roughly 4 billion acres at $1 per acre per year creates a total addressable market of $4 billion recurring revenue stream annually. What makes Pollen Systems different? Well, we deliver that 360-degree integrated platform where others just deliver point solutions. We tie in those mobile devices, the IoT devices, the satellites, and the drones into that platform, and then we use artificial intelligence techniques to analyze the data in a very, very quick turnaround time. We provide predictive analytics, and we leverage crop growth timelines where we know exactly when the crop is going to flower, bud, and produce fruit. We've got extensive partnerships globally, about 75 customers across 9 different countries today, comprising 450,000 acres under management. We've got a very exclusive team who really understands how to grow this market globally and to deliver our products worldwide. In terms of our valuation, if you look at a 6 to 12x exit over the next 3 to 4 years, based on our revenue growth projections, $2 million this coming year, and further growth tripling every year moving forward, we see an exit between $324 and $1.2 billion in the 2028-29 timeframe. We're led by an investment from Esri, which is the world's largest GIS company. They put in $2.4 million this past year in a $4 million round. We only have about $660,000 remaining. We expect to close that within the next month. I'd love to chat with you more in our break room. Please join me.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Keith. And there's now an investor poll up for Pollen Systems Corporation. If you have joined recently, I do want to remind you that this is for direct investors only, not service providers. And if you are not a direct investor, feel free to click that left red X in the top left corner of that poll, and it'll get rid of that poll so it's not in front of your screen. So once again, only direct investors answer this poll. Okay, to introduce our final 4 presenters, I would like to introduce Mark Haas. He is the CEO and co-founder of AEG, a leading alliance and membership organization of elite service professional advisors in the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore area, as well as virtually members include some of the leading business professionals in their respective regions. So Mark, please give us a few details about AEG, and thank you for your support of CONNECTpreneur.
Right. Thanks, Skylar, and thanks to Tien, Emily, and Avery. I'm glad to be a longtime AEG CONNECTpreneur sponsor. So as Skylar said, we're a community of both business advisors and CEOs. And the challenge of business is when it's very complex, there's lots of different moving parts, and you need to be able to find the specialist you need quickly. And so we've created a community of elite advisors who are ethical, they're trusted, they're focused on long-term relationships as opposed to just transactions. So with the DMV economy totally disrupted and getting worse, finding sort of elite and ethical advisors is increasingly at a premium. So if you are or you use business advisors, reach out to me. So we have a number of different, we have 4 more presenters today. Developing any kind of medical technology is a challenge, but often delivering it to the right place at the right time and the right dosage is just as challenging. So one of the difficulties of metastatic breast cancer going to the brain is that how do you get the medication in the right place? How do you get it into the brain, past the blood-brain barrier, and get it to stay there? So Reglagene is our next presenter, and I'd like to hear from Richard Austin, President and CEO.
Hi, my name is Richard Austin, and I'm the CEO and a co-founder at Reglagene. And we're a therapeutics company that is redefining brain cancer treatment. It was thinking small that led us to our breakthrough. Most brain cancer patients die within about a year of diagnosis because the brain won't let in treatments to fight the tumor. Each of us has a blood-brain barrier that prevents toxins from going into our brains, but it also prevents the entry of beneficial tumor treatments. We solve this problem by going about it in the opposite way as everyone else. Instead of trying to force a particular therapy through the barrier, we instead focused on creating the smallest molecules and then worked on fighting the tumor. After 900 prototypes, we now have an orally administered cancer therapy that enters the brain 14 times better than the competition. We designed our molecule to use the most well-validated way of fighting cancer in the clinic. There are already 7 FDA-approved drugs that work by this way that have had clinical and commercial success for cancers outside the brain. But they do nothing for brain cancer patients because they cannot navigate the blood-brain barrier. And that's where our therapy, RGN-6024, comes in. It is a novel therapy that leverages this well-validated way of working, takes it into the brain, and we even built in patient convenience with oral administration on top of that. This is where thinking small comes into play. We designed our molecule to engage a small pocket on the surface of its target protein. Consequently, it's half the size of most of those FDA-approved drugs. And all things being equal, small beats large when it comes to crossing the blood-brain barrier. So this is our competitive advantage. In our therapeutic class, no one tops us in the 2 dimensions of oral administration and brain penetration. We have the best molecule. Now, this is about a $2 billion market opportunity in the United States alone. And our objectives are going after glioblastoma, the deadliest brain cancer, but the real market here is in brain metastases. Breast and lung cancer will metastasize into the brain quite commonly. Our therapy works. We took a human brain cancer, implanted it into the brains of mice, and divided them into 3 groups. And we ran what is known as a survival study, basically for each group measuring the number of animals that survived on each day of dosing. Here in blue, you see our placebo, dose, day 28, they start dying, all dead by day 38. We took our therapy, once daily oral dosing in these animals, dose, start dying about day 28, but you see they survive quite a bit longer. This, what looks like the border of the graph up here in magenta, those are animals receiving our drug twice per day. Over this 7-week study, we did not lose a single animal. Being on our drug kept them alive. That's what we want to see when we go into the clinic. We're raising a $4 million convertible note round. This will help us complete all the remaining studies that will enable us to file our investigational new drug application with the FDA and start human clinical trials. We have about half this round raised. Make no mistake for us, the science experiment is over. We are fully in preclinical development, anticipating being in the clinic in 2026, and we are now in the exit zone as a company. Cancer therapeutics companies exit 84% of them by the time they get to their phase 2 human clinical trial. We're not going all the way to the market. We're getting taken out before then. And brain cancer companies are in demand. Just last quarter, Merck bought the preclinical stage brain cancer company, Modify Bio, in a $1.3 billion deal. So I'm a 30-year veteran of the pharmaceutical industry. I have a well-qualified management team and a board of directors with the right experiences and that is highly engaged with our company. So we have a brain cancer therapy that's in development, not a science experiment, but fully going towards the clinic. It's a favorable competitive landscape. Getting a therapy across this blood-brain barrier is a challenge. We have found a way to do that, and the number of players out there we compete against is small. And bam, here we go. All right, it's a team of pharmaceutical industry professionals. You met our management team. We have a host of consultants who have done this before and done this a lot. And lastly, the value inflections are coming. IND filing, clinical data. We're growing the value of the company. I'd love to have you in our breakout room.
Thank you, Richard. That's great. Our next presenter is Ride-alike. Asset sharing is certainly a proven business model, whether it's Airbnb or Uber or whatever. But finding rides when you live in a multi residential community is hard. Parking is hard. Your car sits most of the time. So what Ride-alike has done is to develop peer-to-peer car sharing platform. Let's hear from Zalani Behan from Ride-alike.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. We are redefining car sharing access for the multi-residential communities. My name is Zilani Buyan. I'm co-founder and CEO of Ride-alike. What we learned that car ownership is expensive. It costs about $1,500 to own a car, but it sits idle with about 95% of the time. Meanwhile, we have discussed with about 1,500 people living in high-rise building space. What we learned that 61% of those people, they travel outside to access cars. It's a lengthy process. It's inconvenient. At the same time, we also have discussed with the property owners, and what we learned that parking space is expensive, building is more expensive, and without that, the property value goes down about 15%. So collectively, it creates an incredible opportunity to build Ride-alike, a car sharing platform that's a solution that connects car owners, renters, and the property owners. We take care of all the insurance, roadside assistance, and all the logistics behind it. And we also built AI and automations in the back end. So that creates more effective and convenient for all the parties that are involved in here. And we built it's a scalable revenue model that creates a flywheel for the car owners, renters, and for the property owners. Car owners and the car property owners, they are the true winners because they get to earn income from their idle assets. Meanwhile, the car renters, they can access cars at a fractional ownership. So it creates convenience for them and it reduces environmental pollutions as well. And we are creating new revenue streams that will increase our gross margin to 60% by the next month. So we understand it's a large market, it's a $230 billion TAM, but the key aspect is from our bottom-up approach in Canada and USA alone, it's a $280 million with a just 10% building acquisition, which is our unique go-to-market strategy. We'll talk about it in our next slide. But the other aspect is car sharing adoption is going up. It's important. The CAGR is going up. There's lots of proven stats around it. And the car sharing reduces single car use and carbon footprint from the air. So our go-to-market strategy, we have identified the buildings that are having challenge. The building with the lesser parking ratios with their residents, they have a challenge. Car owners who are sitting idle, their assets are sitting idle, and car renters who are going outside because they don't have access to a car or access to a parking space within the buildings. So we have targeted 50 buildings to onboard within this year, and we will be driving our marketing activations to get 8% car owners and 6% car renters. Our aim is to go to across Ontario this year, and later part of the year we want to go to San Francisco, and later on after that in next year we'll be expanding in Alberta and California. So we know that it's a crowded space. However, we stand significantly different with the way we are building trust within these high-rise buildings. That reduces the friction and that increases our the acquisition model with a lesser cost. And we are creating an ecosystem within the high-rise buildings. So with the AI, with the big data that we are getting, and with the unique feature that we have as a ride swap, where people can swap cars for their short-term needs, that's why we stand significantly different, and that creates some partnership opportunities with the car manufacturers. So we have on board, to date, we have done about 3,900 rental days, increasing our MRR to $21,000. We have partnered up with the 11 buildings in Greater Toronto area, and we are doing pilot projects with the City of Toronto, Markham, and with some large-scale builders in this space. So with our conservative financial model, our aim is to get 630 buildings within the next 5 years, and that will increase our MRR from $1.5 million to $46 million. And this will happen, our marketing channel with a go-to-market strategy. How do we get 8% car owners and 6% car renters? So we have a solid team between myself and my co-founder. We have a complementing skill sets. We recently onboarded Jamil as a part of our US expansion plan, starting with the San Francisco. And we have onboarded some like industry advisors in AI and in the big data space. So our ask is we're raising $800,000 to increase our MRR to $125,000. Most of it will go to marketing. And we have received soft commitment from Ontario Center of Innovation plus plug and play. And prior to that, we have invested about $672,000 as a pre-seed money. We see big opportunity as an exit strategy with the partnering up with the car manufacturers and the sharing economy leaders. So with that, I'll take a pause. I really appreciate your time and looking forward to meeting at the breakout room.
Thanks, Zilani. There's an investor poll up for Ride Alike.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is Saltena, and we all know what it's like when your cell phone drops out at an inconvenient time, but that's just inconvenience. Think about the communication dropouts and inability to connect in military, industrial, commercial operations. This can mean some serious loss of money or life or death. So what Saltena has developed is a way to get that communication through normally impenetrable barriers, whether it's land or sea or air. Let's hear from Dennis Defensor, CEO of Saltena.
Thank you, Mark. Saltena is truly a breakthrough technology. In 1895, Marconi discovered that he could transmit radio waves across the open spaces. This began the true age of radio and wireless communication. In 2017, our CTO used surface electromagnetic waves to communicate wirelessly underwater, underground, through metal structures, natural or man-made, even dense jungle, snow and ice. We took the technology with SOCOM. They asked us to show them texting underwater. We showed them full motion video at the speed of light. We took it to Hawaii to test the jungle penetration using a typical radio for the military. We more than tripled the distance into the jungle that normally blocks wireless technology. This was using a very, very prototype level antenna, untested. We took it to Hickam Air Force Base. The problem was penetrating through metals, through planes. From inside a plane, C-17, we replaced their antenna of a typical radio. We punched through the plane. We went through two other planes blocking the way, through one hangar and 3 shipping containers. We took it to a submarine, a major military ship, and seaports. The technology just punched through the metal because it used the metal as a conducting surface. Instead of being blocked by doors and walls, it uses them as a conducting surface. We tested through ice and snow, just penetrates right through it. We took it to Iron Mountain from inside a skiff. We punched through the skiff, went 100 meters, turned right 10 feet. It traveled across limestone. Our time is huge because this is a total communication breakthrough affecting all industries and all government agencies. Our first product is a very direct, simple antenna to replace existing antennas in tactical radios, manpacks, drones, robotics, and sensors. These are plug-and-play antenna. Second product is the POC. It's a mobile and permanent transceiver, can magnetically attach to any metal obstacles or fixed to any kind of wall. It will punch through any of those materials. The market is huge in oil and gas alone in subsea operations. Our strategy is very simple. We're building a patent moat. We have 4 patents, 11 patents pending, 100 plus potential patents. We are filing a patent a week is our cadence. We'll continue to work with the DoD for R&D grants. We're developing products for airlines, Air Force, Space Force, maritime, oil and gas. And we're expanding to other industries and markets. We're following the Qualcomm model of technology and patents and licensing. We're looking for $11 million, 2 steps, 3 million, and then 8 million. The 3 million is to really punch through the IP moat and keep patenting the product, because as we go out into the PTO database, there's nothing like what we have. It's wide open. Why Sultana? We are truly a major breakthrough. The market is so huge. We have to operate under a licensing model. We have a team of proven leaders. We're locked into our patent, and we truly believe we can dominate this space. Our management team consists of IT leaders and military officers. We're set to be a dual-use technology company. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dennis. There's an investor poll up for Sultana. Okay. Our final presenter is Space Phoenix Systems. Last night I met a travel agent, and just to be, start the conversation, I said, so you're doing trips to Mars? And he said, no, but actually we're doing a lot of space tourism trips. So I didn't appreciate that space is becoming a big business. And for all the companies who want to get something into space, get a payload up and back, it'd be nice to have somebody handle the logistics. And that's exactly what Space Phoenix does. I'd like to introduce Andrew Parlock, founder and CEO of Space Phoenix.
Thank you so much, Andrew Parlock. So what is Space Phoenix all about? It's about getting stuff to space and back efficiently. That sounds easy enough, but right now the market's severely constrained. Imagine third-party logistics. Think of us as a FedEx box van. We've developed a concept called returnable payload on demand. We'll get into that a little bit later. The most important thing to remember is our vision is a vibrant and easily utilized low Earth orbit for anyone or any company. We've got a great team. A little more gray hair than you're used to seeing in a lot of startups, but we're looking to disrupt the market. This is a team of not just space folks, but industry disruptors, and that's very important. And my co-founder's down there in the right-hand corner. This market is huge. World Economic Forum, NASA, National Science Foundation predict multiple trillion-dollar market in the next 10 years if we improve access and reduce cost. If you take nothing else away from this presentation today, understand that Space Phoenix, our entire business model, is to reduce costs and improve access to space. We are a $500 billion upside in a multi-trillion-dollar market. Because there's a real problem right now, and it's been recognized by NASA and National Science Foundation and others. There's few options to get to space. There's even less options to get back. Those options that you can get up and back on are exceedingly costly and don't scale. And it's forcing this weird vertical integration. People are having to build everything themselves. And it's bifurcating resources, it's bifurcating investment, and it's stifling innovation. So our mission is to rapidly deliver and return cargo agnostic payloads. These are the payloads, these are the things that go on the satellites. Get them up to space and get them back at reduced cost and higher operational cadence. How do we do it? We're developing a series of returnable spacecraft. These are going to dramatically reduce cost. But you're not getting to a multi-trillion-dollar market without higher operational cadence. We got to move at the speed of the market. We've got to change the business model. Today, if you want to put up 50 kilos, you're paying for 250 kilos to get up to space and back. We want to charge you only for what you need. And again, we're not getting to a $2-3 trillion market without a global infrastructure. Space Phoenix has this vision from technology to business model wrapped up. Like use cases, microgravity research today is a $500 million market. In-space manufacturing is a $5 billion market today, growing to 250 billion or more in the next 10 years. And then the payload market. Everyone knows we're trying to get stuff to space. We're going to help folks do that. And that's our value proposition. Our value proposition is Let the payload customer focus on what the payload customer does, and Space Phoenix will manage everything else: satellite integration, launch, operations, return, and recovery. And we do it through this series of spacecraft. We're not going to get into the spacecraft now. Please join me in the breakout room. We'll get into some really exciting details. We have immense traction in the market. 9 LOIs signed currently and a $200 million pipeline. Most of this is commercial, but we're not walking away from government dollars either. We have excellent partners across the spectrum: biotech, semiconductors, advanced materials. It's amazing. But if you take nothing else away from this slide, 75% of our capacity is reserved, already reserved through 2030. So the market penetration is immense. We're looking to raise 7.5 million. We've got clear sight on the first million of that. Valuation on this one's tough. We keep getting win after win, so the valuation keeps moving. We're focused on convertible notes at a 20% discount or a safe type vehicle. So please join me in the breakout. There's a lot of exciting things to talk about. Space Phoenix is doing a lot of really exciting stuff. Thank you so much for your help and time.
Terrific. Thanks, Ed.
Wonderful.
There's a final investor poll for Space Phoenix Systems.
Thanks so much, Mark, and thanks everyone for being here.